welcome to a podcast named Tim. This is a Power Rangers Dino Fury review. Today's episode, we're going to be reviewing, and the monster we're going to be rating are episode 9 from season 1 entitled Cut Off, and the monster of the week, or the Sporix beast of the week, is Rustafa, I believe is how it's pronounced. Before we get into the review, of course, please do give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to leave your thoughts on the monster and the episode in the comments below, of course. So this week, the Rangers are on a camping trip, and as you are, when you're in charge of protecting a whole town, you got to get a little me time. So there's a little R&R. So the Rangers are going out camping, and Ollie is out there with a lot of gadgetry. He's got an over-the-top gadgetry. He's got like solar-powered saws and some electric toenail clippers and a jacket that does a bunch of other gizmos and some shoes that charge batteries when he walks and a bunch of other stuff. And of course the other Rangers are commenting, saying that they think it's a little bit too much and maybe he should just enjoy nature and, enjoy camping for what it is. But wouldn't you know it, at the same time that the Rangers are out camping, roughly around the same spot, is Mr. Void Knight himself and Mucus and Rustafa. They are out with what looks like a weather balloon that they're planning on sending out that will disrupt all of technology, including the Rangers' ability to morph and communicate with each other. So they're just going to knock out all the communication devices for everyone, and then during this knockout, their plan is to go into the town and round up as many Sporix beasts as possible to power the machine. And despite the fact that the balloon gets stuck in a tree for a bit, and we have a fight with the henchmen, which I wish they'd show up more often, because I kind of like the look of them, but when it gets stuck, it's able to get free, and the plan works at this point. The Rangers are out of communication, they're stuck in the middle of the woods, and they are deciding to go back. They want to walk back to town in order to solve all these issues and try and find a way to stop Void Knight from obviously having free reign on the town. Ollie has a plan to try and pop the balloon. He wants to build a gadget using all of his other little gadgets in order to pop the balloon. The other Rangers are saying they don't have time for that and are kind of being very rude to Ollie throughout this whole episode. And so they all walk back. He stays back because he has dismantled his battery shoes, and he starts building an arrow. He has this retractable walking stick and some other things. He's going to try and make he put some fans on it, like kind of like a rocket, almost like a little rocket in some respects. The Rangers that are walking back completely get lost and end up right where Ollie is. Meanwhile, the bad guys are in town. They're stealing up a bunch of Sporix beasts. I think in the end they end up getting about 3. Of course, J-Borg and I can never remember her name, but the 2 people from Buzz Blast end up seeing them, and Jane, that's her name. They end up trying to call the Rangers, but again, they kind of remind everyone that the technology is out, essentially. Luckily, the Rangers decide to help Ollie. They see that his plan almost works, but it just needs a little teamwork. And so they basically build like a giant medieval crossbow and launch it at the balloon, pop it, all the technology's back on. They're able to morph back into town, and of course doing a lot of fighting. A lot of different keys are being used now. It's kind of hard for me, at least, to keep track of who has what key and which key does what. I don't know. It's just hard for me to keep track of that. But they're using all their different keys to fight the henchmen. And Rustafa, who grows immediately. They actually split up, I should say, and the Green and Black Ranger go and fight Void Knight. I wish we didn't see him as often as we did in this kind of capacity. I don't want to. I like my big bads, my big villains, to kind of be in the background while all the main fighting is going on. I still like to see them get kicked around a lot. Save them for special occasions. But anyway, they end up doing that, and of course they have to fight Rustafa now, and they end up using a Dino Fury Megazord Fortress form at one point. So we've seen a new formation of the Megazord, and the only we'll get into Rustafa's main uh, uh, arsenal when we get into the rating of the week. But basically, the Rangers defeat him, and it's actually, as always, that's been this season a really good fight with the Megazords, and take him out, and they are able to capture that Sporix Beast. But that's pretty much the end of the episode. They um, all end up back at camping with their own versions of the tech jacket. And all in all, not a great episode. I thought the Rangers, at this point in the season, I think there is still, to me, too much division in the team and being rude to each other and everything. Um, I'd like them to be more of a team, I guess, is what I'm saying. And then, again, I'd like to see a little less Void Knight, a little bit more Hingeman, and just to me, some of the writing is not great as far as some of the jokes and the way they land, and I don't know if it's the material that's being written or the direction that the actors are giving or the performances are giving, but a lot of that's just not landing for me. But let's get into the monster rating of the week. Rustafa. So when we do these, it's look, powers, plan, success, and voice. Those are the 5 categories I look at. 1 through 5 is the number of points you can receive for category. The more points, the better. So for look, I gave a 3. I think this is an average monster style design. It's based on some kind of mythical beast that I've never heard of, which is part rooster, part dragon, which is a great combination of things to throw together, but very oversized as far as the headgear and the wings, and has like these like sharp kind of not claws, but like shoulder area, or what you call it, kind of like the Batman thing, whatever you want to call those. And so 3, it looks like a monster. Powers 2, it has a beak blast that it mainly uses when it's in its enlarged form, but that's it. But to me, a blast of that nature, having some kind of energy blast, is kind of the bare minimum standard that a monster needs to have. Would have liked to see more interesting weapons used. The plan, I gave a 3. Taking out technology is a decent plan that normally happens, like knocking out communicators and stuff. That's a typical Power Ranger plot. But, my other issue why I didn't give it more is I didn't think that Rustafa was a specific monster that was needed for this plan to work. He was just there. But success, 5. 5 out of 5. They are able to get three different Sporix Beasts during this technology blackout, and Rustafa does force the Rangers to use a different formation of the Megazord, which I'm always going to give you an extra points when you make the Rangers do something a little different. So 5 for the success. And the voice, 2, it was kind of a screechy, ear-piercing kind of voice in some respects. So overall, I gave it a 15 out of 25. That's basically an average monster, which is what I was kind of expecting when I was watching the episode. I never know how it's really going to turn out, but an average monster. So that's my thoughts on the episode. That's my thought on Rustafa. We'll be back next week with more Power Rangers Dino Fury. And again, if you want to see those, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're also doing Beast Morphers, and we're going to be returning to our Mighty Morphin reviews very soon. Took a little break from those, but we'll be back with those here soon. So thank you again for checking out the channel, and see you next time here on the podcast named Tim.